Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am Mr. Ronnie Flowers.
And I'm Mrs. Kim Flowers. And we
are from GNN. Well, today we're going to bring to you a lot of different things. So I'm going to let my co-anchor Kim here to kind of start us out.
All right, well, we're going to be looking at the latest reports from the Knowledge Check tonight to see how students did. We're also going to be examining the common errors found on the quizzes, which more than most of our viewers had problems with. And then we're also going to look at one other thing. You remember what that is, right?
Yes, the most recent news update we have coming is coming right across my desk right now. And it is about future examinations that may be affecting you.
You stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
We'll be right back.
All right, guys, we're back from commercial break. Thanks so much for being here. Listen, we're going to talk today about the latest reports and the latest on the knowledge check you just did. As of 7:25, here are the results. There are 2 questions on the knowledge check we really need to cover because half of you were confused on the answer. So let's look at those problems now. Okay, here is one of the common questions that we need to go over. 4x squared minus 6x minus 1 is equal to 0. And we need to solve this by the quadratic formula. A is equal to 4, B is equal to negative 6, and C is equal to negative 1. By the quadratic formula, x equals negative b, so that's positive 6, plus or minus the square root of negative 6 squared, minus 4 times the a value of 4 times c, which is negative 1, all over 2 times a, which is 2 times 4. Now we need to simplify. When you simplify negative 6 squared, you get 36. And then negative 4 times negative 1 is a positive 16. So 36 plus 16 is what we have to work with here. So 6 plus or minus the square root of 36 plus 16 over 8, because 4 times 2 is 8. Now this gives us 52. So it is 6 plus or minus the square root of 52 over 8. This is the answer B, and half of you put that. But unfortunately, that is not the most simplified answer. You can simplify the square root of 52. I'll show you in this corner here. The square root of 52 is divisible by 4. And 4 times 13 happens to be 52. So square root of 4 and square root of 13, this gives us 2 root 13. So this 52 is actually 2 root 13. So now notice there is a common factor of 2 in this term, in this term, and this term. Because there is a common factor of 2 in all terms, then we can divide 2 from every term. Divide 2 from 6 and you get 3. Divide 2 from 2 and you get 1. Divide 2 from 8 and you get 4. So the correct answer is 3 plus or minus square root of 1 times the square root of 13 over 4. This is the answer D. This was one of the common mistakes. Again, just need to make sure you're careful and simplify when necessary. All right, this is the next more challenging problem. This is another one we had several people miss, but a lot of you got it right. We're going to take this fraction, 3 over x plus 2, and change the divide to multiply. And now flip the fraction. So we have x plus 1 times x plus 2 over 5. Now the expression x plus 2 in the denominator here will cancel with the expression x plus 2 in the numerator. And my final answer is 3, well, x plus 1 over 5. But this is actually not finally simplified. We need to distribute the 3. So the final answer is 3x plus 3 over 5. The answer is C. All right, and that's our news on the knowledge check. Now we're going to bring back in Ronnie to be able to help us out with the common problems that our viewers are having with the quizzes. I think you know all about this, don't you, Ronnie?
Thank you very much, Kim. You have done a marvelous job at teaching everybody how to do the things like that quadratic formula that they were supposed to know how to do really, really well. And that simplifying rational expressions, which both of those will be on your examination coming up. So, right now I'm going to talk about the quiz is because I want you to be the very best prepared you can for that examination, otherwise known as the test, coming up. Negative times negative, negative times positive. signs are the same, we have a positive. Now these are the rules of signs. A negative times a negative is a positive. A negative times a positive is a negative. A negative times a negative is a positive. Now these are the rules of signs. Now these are the rules of signs. Now these are the rules for signs. Okay, so simplify x squared over 2y to the third to the fourth power. X squared to the fourth is now x to the eighth because you multiply. 2 to the fourth is now, you have to actually put in your calculator, 2 to the fourth power, which is 16. There's only two options down here that gives you 16. Y to the third to the fourth power, you multiply exponents when it's power to a power. Power rule says multiply, parentheses erase. So, x to the eighth over 16, y 12th. Y to the 12th, x to the 8th over 16, y to the 12th, and the answer is B. Okay, for the next one, we're doing the exact same thing. It's power to a power, but let's do inside the parentheses first because that makes it easier, okay? Now I'm going to take some notes this time so you can see here. 2 VU to the third power over U squared V cubed times U cubed V squared to the negative fifth power. I'm going to do on the inside first. So I'm going to multiply these. Multiply same bases, exponents, find the sum. Division is subtraction. Makes me want to hum. So keep that in mind. So u squared times u to the third is u to the fifth because you're adding the exponents. V to the third times v squared is v to the fifth because you're adding the exponents. And then you still got 2vu to the third above that. All still to the negative fifth power. Now the 2 is going to stay here for just a moment. And the u to the third on the top, u to the fifth on the bottom. Remember, division of the same bases is subtracting. And I always subtract the larger minus the smaller. And then leave it where you correctly place the base where it's positive. So 5 minus 3 is 2, so u squared. V to the 1 power is what that's understood to be over v to the 5th power. So 5 minus 1 is 4, so v to the 4th power. And those are gone, they're all gone, so it's to the negative 5th power. Now what a negative 5th power does to the items in parentheses is it just flips it, whoop, just like that. And you go u squared v to the 4th over 2. Now this right now is still to the positive 5th power. Okay, there's a lot of different ways to do this problem. This is the way I'm doing this problem. And now take everything to the power of 5. And power rule says multiply parentheses erase. So u, 2 times 5 is 10. V to the 4th to the 5th, 4 times 5 is 20. All over 2 to the 5th power is 32. And you are done. Stick a fork in it. It's done, ladies and gentlemen. All right, the cubic root of 27 times x to the 4th times y to the 5th times z to the 3rd power. Now the cubic root, the square root meant what times itself gets you this number. But this is a cubic root. So the cubic root of 27 is saying what times itself 3 times gets you 27. And that would be 3 times 3 is 9 times 3 is 27. So we take out one of those to get 3. So the cubic root of 27 is 3. Well, the rest of the problem now is x to the 4th. X to the 4th is the same thing as x to the 3rd times x to the 1st power. Or you just erase that little 1 right there if you want to. And then so x to the 3rd times x to the 1st power. So it takes out one of the x's because it's the cubic root this time instead of the square root. And so that's leaving you an x right there. And then y to the 5th power is the same thing as y to the 3rd times y to the 2nd power. So you take out one of those and brings down the y, leaving you a y squared. Times z to the 3rd power, which is exactly z times z times z. So you just write down z. And then you write down everything left, the cubic root of x to the 3rd, we took it out, and leaving you an x. And then you're left with the y squared. And that's the final answer here. So let's find that answer, shall we? Yes, we shall. And that's supposed to be the cubic root. I figure probably a lot of people said can't simplify, but technically that should be the cubic root of xy squared, so probably saying that's probably the correct answer. 6x squared times negative 3 to the x fifth. I can do this on paper right here. 6 times negative 3 is negative 18. Hey, only one of them has negative 18. Guess what? That's the answer, but I'll go ahead and do the rest of it for you. X squared times x to the fifth. Remember, multiplying bases, exponents, find the sum. That means add, ladies and gentlemen. 2 plus 5 is 7. Negative x. Negative 18 x to the 7th power is my answer. Thank you very much. Power up. That's because we're awesome. Square root of 64 x to the 9th. Okay, square root of 64 is 8. Well, they all got 8 there, so that didn't help us out any. Now, square root of x to the 9th, you need to realize this is x to the 8th times x. Okay? Square root of 64 x to the 9th. Square root of 64 is 8. But x to the 9th is x to the 8th times x. This time we're taking the square root of x to the 8th, which means we take half of that 8 to get x to the 4th, and it leaves me an x right there, square root of x, and you will be able to see the answer. So, 2a to the power of 5/6, all you have to do is just put the 6th root, and notice 5/6, the 6th root of 2a all to the 5th power, which is a. So just remember that the 6 goes to the root, and you're good to go on that. Alright, simplify. This is multiplying, so 2 times 6 is 12. There are only 2 of them that has 12 on the front. A squared times a to the 3rd, multiplying bases, exponents, find the sum. 2 plus 3 is 5. So that's got 12a to the 5th. You can be done right now. B to the 4th times b squared is b to the 6th. You add them together. Z times z to the 5th. That's a 1. 1 plus 5 is 6, but that's the correct answer. M to the negative 2, m to the 5th, over n to the negative 7, m to the negative 3. So n to the 8th, n to the negative 7, larger exponent, you subtract the smaller exponent. So 8 minus negative 7 gives you 8 plus 7, which is n to the 15th power. Always put the exponent where it's positive, so correctly place it. And then those are gone. M to the negative 2 times m to the 5th. That's m to the 3rd power. Remember, multiplying bases, exponents, find the sum. You add them to get m to the 3rd over m to the negative 3rd. But division is subtraction. Makes me almost want to hum. M to the 3rd over m to the negative 3rd. That means you subtract negative 3. So 3 minus the negative 3 is 3 plus 3, which is 6. And you always put it in the positive area right here. That was the largest one, and that's where we're going to be putting it. So m to the 6th. Square root of 27 plus 10 square roots of 3. Square root of 27, you need to simplify that. We can only add like terms. Thank you, that eraser. It must be the magic eraser. It just comes out of nowhere and sticks to the board. That's so cool. Alright, so square root of 27 plus 10 square roots of 3. Square root of 27, remember you're trying to find what perfect square will go into 27. Well, 9 will. So 9 times 3 plus 10 square roots of 3 still. Square root of 9 is 3, and you're left with the square root of 3 plus 10 square roots of 3. So it's just 3 square roots of 3 plus 10 square roots of 3. How many square roots of 3 do I have? You're correct. 13 square roots of 3. Good job. And that's the correct answer right there. Alright, simplify. 2xy over negative 4x to the 3rd y squared. So the problem is 2xy over negative 4x to the 3rd power y squared. Now remember, you have to use the exponent rules. But negative 2 over 4, those aren't exponents. Negative 2 over 4, they just simplify like normal. 2 over 4, that's the same thing as 2 times 1. This is the same thing as 2 times 2. So the 2's crosses out, leaves you 1 over 2. But don't forget, you still got that negative there. So just negative 1/2. Now these are exponents. There's a 3, there's a 1. The largest exponent right here is on a 3. So correctly place the base where the largest exponent is. And then go subtract, because remember, division is subtraction when you're doing exponents. So 3 minus 1 is 2. Y squared, y to the 1. So 2 minus 1 is 1, and that is your answer. Let's see which one that is. 1 over negative 2x squared y. It is A.
Up my textbook when I first get out of bed, start studying those rules of life. My teacher said, recognizing bases, exponents too. Exponents must be positive, negatives won't do. I've got to work those problems, I've got to find a way. Don't you want to learn them today? Exponent rules are not that bad. Just remember this song and don't get mad. Remember that exponents have a set of rules. Use them when canceling, it won't be a fool. Start to see a pattern to how these things are done. I raise to 0 power and the answer's always 1. The basis can't be 0, I must remember that. Just 3 more rules to learn, now and then I can relax. I'll put it all together, I'll know it pretty soon. Then I can go watch my cartoons. Exponent rules are not that bad. Just remember this song and don't get mad. Remember that exponents have a set of rules. Use them when canceling, won't be a fool. See bases, exponents find the sum. Dividing and subtraction makes me almost want to hum. Subtract the smaller power, correctly place the base. The power rule says multiply, parentheses erase. I know I've got these rules now, I know I've got them right. I just need to remember them with all of my might. Exponent rules are not that bad. Just remember this song and don't get mad. Remember that exponents have a set of rules. Use them when canceling, it won't be a fool. Use them when canceling and you won't be a fool. Use them when canceling and you won't be a fool. Yeah.
All right, welcome back. I'm so glad you enjoyed that commercial break. And now we're going to go ahead and talk about the most important topics that you have asked for. And that is, what are the questions that are going to be on those future examinations that will affect you?
The test.
Right. Now, I want to point out on that last long presentation by my co-anchor here.
It was thorough.
It was that a lot of those questions are more challenging than will be on our test. However, I have heard from a very reliable source that many of you had it in algebra and foreign language in a foreign land, but that you have covered those things before.
By a really pretty math teacher named Kim Flowers.
Whoever she may be.
That's right.
But anyway, I think what the students really want to know, our viewers really want to know.
Okay, all right.
Is what is the next thing I'm covering, which is the most recent updated news on the future examinations that may be affecting them.
Test!
Yes. I've heard that you don't even have to have a doctorate to take this test.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, you could just be a normal person.
Okay, so everybody, did you hear that? That's breaking news. You can be a normal person and take this test that we're going to give you.
Yep, that's exactly right. So with that, I will go over the latest updates.
Okay.
On the test, there will be factoring problems.
Factoring problems.
Yes. Factoring where there is a difference of squares.
Okay, difference of squares. Check.
Perfect square trinomials. There will also be factoring when the value in front of x squared is 1, and when the value of x squared is not 1.
There's a couple of different ways to do that, isn't there?
That's right. You can do it by grouping up, or you can do it by not grouping.
Yeah.
That's just called
A
guess
times
and
C.
check, or
Yeah.
AC,
Yeah.
GC, AC, some letter in between, maybe the letter B. Anyway, but that's the way it goes.
Guess and check, GC, or take A times C and you do factor by grouping.
That's right. That's exactly what you're
Yes.
known as. And then after we get through with all the factoring, we also go into solving factoring problems. So you can solve by factoring. We also know you can solve by the quadratic formula.
That's true.
You know what? I know a song about that.
Yeah. X equals negative
no, let's do
b
the one
plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Yeah.
Well, I know,
Okay.
but that one is not the one that sticks, okay? Everybody
Okay,
knows the
okay.
pop goes away. So is what sticks.
Okay, I'll sing Pop's Over
X
With.
equals negative b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. And now, of course, when people put that in, they have to be careful to simplify that
Yes.
radical, because otherwise
Simplify.
you'll get a radically wrong answer is what will happen.
That's right, and that will not be radical, man!
Exactly, something like that. Anyway, and with that, now, I will now go over the next things on the test. There also in the test there will be,
Simplifying rational expressions.
oh yes, simplifying rational expressions.
I thought so.
Yeah. Well, there may be a little bit of that, not as much as you expect. But there will also be some radicals that you need to simplify, and all the exponent rules.
Oh, yes.
We will put a practice out there for our viewers to see. They're wanting to know what exactly in examples that will be.
Okay.
We will put a practice out there that's similar to the test.
Okay.
However, I want them to know there will be 2 questions on the test that are not going to be on the review. They are requiring you to understand what you are doing. So sometimes that creates a little fear in our community.
Yes,
Have
it
you noticed
does.
that? Yeah.
Yes.
Anytime we don't know exactly what's happening, it causes us to get fearful.
Fear of the unknown.
Some people know when fearful, they grab toilet paper.
Yeah, but you know, I think what you probably need to do on this fear is probably grab you a pencil and try to write out the steps to doing some of these problems.
Yeah, but I've also stocked up a lot on canned goods, and I've stocked up more on sweets and treats. Frankly, I've ate quite a bit now that I've been nervous.
You know, those eats and treats, they do make you feel better.
Yeah, they do. So with that, we are going to go ahead and wrap it up. That is all that's going to be on the exam. I do hope that that review on the quizzes didn't kill you and make you where you didn't watch the end of the show.
So there will be a practice on your class activities or on your homework.
Yes.
So there will be a practice on your homework, and there will be a solution guide for that, so you know exactly how to work
But we
every
have
problem.
known occasionally that solution guide is not very accurate. So what do we do when that happens?
Well,
We don't want our ratings to drop.
let me talk to you now. Okay, this is very serious. If you don't know what to do, and your solution guide did not help you, or if you get an answer that the solution guide does not have, you need to email us.
Or go to our social media site, which is Google Classroom. That is right.
That's
under
correct.
the Geometry Classroom app.
That's true.
You can contact us that way, and sometimes we respond
true.
pretty quickly.
Yes, you can ask a question, you can make a comment, you can say this is hard, where is this? You can ask all kinds of sorts of things.
Absolutely. Now, one thing we know for sure is that we're here for you.
For you, that's
The
exactly
more
right.
of you that watch this, the greater our ratings are. So
That's
please
exactly
make
right.
sure to rate us as
And please make sure you visit our sponsor, Ronnie Flowers at Math Songs on Google and on YouTube.